retard questions, you can knock them out the park. Okay, how to stop getting off on deviancy? That's a really good question because that everyone struggles with the flesh.
In what sense?
So
Deviancy, I'm guessing
obviously we're
pornography.
talking, yeah, we're talking about that.
I mentioned this last week, I think, when we spoke, that those are things that we would see as being secondary processes, right? Addiction specifically. As it relates to pornography, which I think, Zerka, we said we would address this on the stream today. Pornography is loneliness, it's isolation, right?
Yeah.
The porn use is like I said, it's a secondary process following that, right? So the argument that we make in psychology is that there's a critical period that exists in childhood specifically, where you need to feel connected to the mother. You need to, I don't want to get too technical into this, but we have a concept known as projective identification, where the infant projects the base instincts that it has for death and life, and the mother provides meaning to it. But if the mother doesn't do a good job, or not just the mother, it could be any other caregiver, but if that job isn't done effectively, the infant starts to feel very alone in that process, and it doesn't develop a sense of.
It's so bad when you answer that way. Without, I'm so used to YouTubers how they answer. You could have just hammered in an example. So you said, "Oh, the infant projects, and the mother adds meaning."
The mother's
give us an example. Without an example, that's just big words.
The argument that I'm making here is that if the mother cannot give meaning to the anxieties that the infant has, the infant will start to experience loneliness and isolation, and that will manifest as porn use.
But how would she give meaning to it?
If for example, the infant is the instincts that the infant will experience are death and life. So life would be nurturance, and death would be the fear that it's going to be apart, or whatever it may be, right? And so the mother gives meaning to that by saying, "No, I'm here to protect you," or, "Oh, what you're experiencing right now is hunger. It's something that can be dealt with," as an example, right? The argument here, the biological argument would be that as the blood sugar drops, the infant experiences hunger, but that hunger is anxiety provoking for the infant, and so the mother gives meaning to that by saying, "Oh, you're hungry. There's something that can be addressed. That can you can be fed, and it's not something to be afraid of." That would be the providing meaning to the biological experience of what hunger is, which itself is a derivation of the instinct of the death instinct, let's say.
Hold on.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, or I'll give a really simple example. Have you noticed that when men have girlfriends, they stop watching? And have you guys noticed that? Unless you're a fucking absolute loser.
It can be, but
unless you're an absolute fucking loser. But no, I'm saying that's a good example to start from. Like when you close your eyes and imagine you with a girlfriend, it becomes a different system in your day where you don't have that rub it out. It's not there. And if you do, then you don't even want to talk to the fucking bitch. Or maybe that's just my experience, but yeah. So I always say, if your life changes,
what I'm discussing is a concept known as existential isolation. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. I've definitely experienced that myself. You can be surrounded by people if you don't, and I think a lot of it is happening.
No, that's different than a girlfriend. How the fuck are you lonely?
You can have a girlfriend and still feel.
How the fuck?
I'm saying there's a critical period that needs to be undone.
No way. If you have a loving girlfriend and still feel lonely, you're a bitch, bro. What the fuck? Like what? How are you? How's she loving if you're lonely? That means she's not loving. It's like, right?
It has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with what she's projecting. It has everything to do with what you're perceiving. That's the argument.
Right.
Right. You lack the equipment, let's say the tools, whatever it may be, to access that love, that attention. Even ideally, you want somebody who's unconditionally loving towards you, but some people do lack those antenna, right? They don't perceive that. That happens all the time.
Oh, so I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Right? No. Obviously, I agree because I'm wrong.
You're the guy who for as long as I've known you, you've always said perception is reality, and now you go against that idea.
No, that's why I'm saying I'm wrong. I just think if she's doing her nurturing job, which by the way I forgot where I read this, but it said if you don't have a girlfriend in life, you become very animalistic because that embrace of like family is never goes away from your mind. So whether you're 25, 30, 35, 40, you need to have a partner. You need to, and to me that's.
You should, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a warrior phase. I think 15 to 25, you'll be a millionaire if you don't. Gary, when we see like people like, if you have a partner, you'll never be a millionaire. At 21 years old with a partner, she will never make you a millionaire. But if you're alone 20 to 25 and you don't become a millionaire, you're the biggest loser on earth. Like,
yeah,
straight up.
I would agree with part of that. Up until, let's say, the age of 25, just to give numbers, I don't think it's exactly chronological, but you should be able to develop your own sense of your identity and then pursue the interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
Right. So you're right. I think up till 25, you should be focusing on yourself. Just generally speaking.
You should actually see it as you're chiseling. Anything doesn't go ahead. You should actually see it as you should see it as those sculptures that chisel themselves. And if you don't do that process, you don't actually get a girlfriend, or you get what I like to call the phantom girlfriend, where she's with you, but since you're not a man, you're renting, it's temporary, right? And the phantom girlfriend is the root of all insecurity. Because I'm 25 years old, why did she leave me, bro? Because you're not actually 25. A 25-year-old has a fucking car and a house, you fucking loser. Like, bro, when I think of me getting, you know how quickly I got my life together? Oh, wow, look. I was given one little door of opportunity. Everyone on the Rod Show was given this door. None of them are doing content creation anymore because they all can't afford to pay their bills. And I'm the only one who stuck to it even when I was broke. Like, I made money, lost money, made money. I just stuck to it. And the argument is I'm the greatest podcaster in all human history. Like, Joe Rogan, when he started 40